Welcome to Going Primitive. My name's Jeremy, and we got a house update. So, it is a wooden mess down here so far. But that's alright because I've been getting some headway. I made a post. In fact, I made 4 of them. 5, but I don't want to talk about that 5th one. I might have messed up. So, all I did was I just drove some nails in, getting it sized, getting it to where I need it to be. I'm going to have to put another nail up here. And then I can drive. Well, this one's already got the counter nails in at a different angle. So ideally, I should have a nail going in this way, and a nail going in this way. What that does is it prevents these two from shifting, one of them going up and one of them going down. They're locked in by those nails. That's the general idea of what I'm trying to do on these posts, because these posts got to deal with a little bit of weight. The weight is distributed throughout the whole building. So made my little square box here, and it's, that guy there. I was able to do this kind of just a couple of minutes ago, really. Okay, about 30 minutes ago. I had to stop and drink the rest of my water. It's kind of hot out. Anyway, that's the start of my upper frame. What would be sitting on these posts. Now that I got those 4 posts made, as soon as I get this braced, probably with, using something like these guys, probably not this small. We've all seen that, like in Skyrim and a little bit on Fallout 4, where they got them angled like that. That is an excellent idea, because that top board, which doesn't exist here, sitting on top, weight is pushing down on the post. Further out, the weight would be pushing down on this, down through this board and into the post, and the same for this other side. By building this a little bit modular, like I'm trying to do, hopefully, and I mean hopefully, I will be able to get this to where it can be changed slightly to fit the needs. So if it's completely stable and it works fantastic, and somebody else wants to use it, well, then it's something safe. If it doesn't work, well, then I'm making a series of videos on what not to do. We'll find out, though. And I am going to do a little bit of a saw review. Not bad. Not bad. When you're working alone, works excellent. Rips through these 2x4s with about half the effort it takes with these guys. I was using these guys up until a little bit ago, and then I was like, oh my god, this thing rocks. I forgot I even brought it with me. Yeah, I'm going to be using this guy a lot. So, built me a sawing platform, because that guy is not the easiest to use. Standing up by like some sawhorses and you're eye level with it, those teeth bite in hard, and it just probably drags the sawhorses around and everything else, and it'd just be a pain. So I did this, and I stood on it. You know who else stood on it? Like every woodworker in the medieval era in Europe. That's how they cut wood. They had a platform, they stood on the wood, They ran their saw down the side, cut off the pieces they need. If they needed to cut wood in half, they had actually a guide set up, and they would sit with that big saw or one similar to this style, not necessarily this saw, but one similar to this style, and saw right down the middle of the board. In this case, it would be we're going to use by nothing but 2x4s. I would have to rip down the middle of them in order to create 1x4s, which is probably going to be the walls. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to do a really lightweight house, although the house in its entirety is built more like a barrel, so the weight is supported equally around it and then down through the floor. So part of the floor is supported by it, its weight supported by itself and spread out along the house. Now, these squares here, there's only one nail in each corner there. That's done on purpose so I can get everything shifted and set right before I finish it out. I got to do those little angle pieces, kind of like that, off of the posts and these guys. There is nothing square about this. It's eyeballed. I did the same with the leveling. I just kind of eyeballed it. It's good enough. Growing up, the houses that always had the most character to me weren't squared. Nothing was square in them. Pretty certain the same thing I'm doing here is how a lot of those houses were built. They just kind of eyeballed it and got close enough. When you start getting into perfect squares and everything, it starts to take on this modern, almost sterile feel. At least that's the way I feel, is a sterile, like it's too perfect. There's no character to it. I want my house to have absolutely the most piled on character I can. So a warm side house is going on this side. It's only going to be 7 feet wide, probably close to 14 feet, but that leaves us an extra 3 feet because this is 8.5. And then we got another 8.5 going this way for the total length, and then going up. That's a total of 17 feet. That'll give me just enough to have a walkway, which is what I kind of wanted, was a little walkway, and I kind of stopped and took a break and thought, ooh, a drawbridge would be cool too. But I really need to concentrate on getting this platform built before I go too wild and crazy on those ideas. And there goes the tick. It's starting to cool down, so the ticks are coming out into where it was too warm for them earlier. What I have right there is kind of a pseudo, hey, it's probably going to go out about that far that away, so 17 foot by 17 foot. That'd be another 8.5 by 8.5 square going on here. So same thing over here. We got that all set. I'm going to have to get this all set up, and at least the 4 corners on this 8.5 set in. The mid corners, or the middle part, and they're really not corners, and the center, get those all made, set, this thing all braced up so that I can move on to the next side, and then like the next side, and then the last one. And hopefully I won't run out of 2x4s while doing this. If I do, which I already know I don't have enough to build the whole thing, it was just enough 2x4s to get me started, I can I'll go buy some more and get them dropped off here. And then anyway, I do have one box of super fancy nails here. I'm doing the 3.5 inch. They wind up sticking through. That's fine. I'll just build it where I don't have nails coming up through my feet. And guys, what is that? It's a watermelon. You know what that means? I'm going to kill it and I'm going to eat it. Shh, be very quiet. Yes, it is a watermelon. Alright, guys, you guys gotta go. I can't be slaughtering watermelons out here with everybody seeing me.